Everyone, to another day, Thursday, and Be Strong Families webinar series, Staying Strong and Positive for Ourselves and Our Children. It's 11:58, so I see participants are starting to join in. I see the number increasing, and I see some old friends, maybe some new faces I haven't seen before. If you're jumping on right now, we invite you to go ahead in the chat. Let us know where you're joining us from. This is one of my favorite parts of every day. Let's see, where's everyone joining us from? We have Emily from Waynesburg, Pennsylvania, and Tammy. Welcome again. Great to read you again today, if that's the proper way. Lawan Massey from DC. Thank you, Paul. Washington State's in the house. New York, Virginia, California, more Washington. Emily's already agreeing to the agreements. Anna from Wichita. Jessica from New Jersey. La Cruces, New Mexico. Welcome, Gabriel. Utah. Wow. We get all 50 states in here and maybe the territories as well. That'll be a goal someday. Emily from Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania. Welcome, welcome. I usually like to use this 2 minutes to read where everyone's coming from before we pop into starting. Jennifer's agreeing already. One of these days we're going to have to change the agreements so that all the early agreement, we could say like, we agree, Guy is the coolest. Everyone, you agreed already. Okay, well, let's get started. Welcome again today. It's 12 o'clock. So for those joining us along the way, please keep popping in where you're joining us from. We're so grateful to have you and that you're sharing some of your time today with us. As we discuss the topic, how to keep calm with all the going on today. I won't go there, but I'm joined by two guest presenters, Savitree Kaur and Jodh. No, that's not Jodh Kaur, or it is Jodh Kaur.
It is. I changed my last name in the box, but yes, Jodh Kaur.
Oh, okay. So Jodh Kaur. Okay. Yeah, that threw me off. Welcome, Erie, Pennsylvania. And I'm Guy, helping guide us through our webinar today. And I can't wait to get into this topic. But before we do, let's roll through some of our housekeeping here, our ways to engage. There might be some opportunities to join today. And share your voice if you're interested in that. But in the meantime, keep your phone on mute. When there is a point where you're ready to comment, you can use the raise your hand function and we'll unmute you. And then you'll need to unmute yourself. This is just a way to keep the audio as clear as possible. So please be patient with us as we kind of work through that and are monitoring the chats and your raised hands. But throughout the whole presentation, like you're doing now, comment in the chat and make sure that you've clicked the drop-down menu to all panelists and attendees. That way everyone could see what you're saying, because we all want to. So let's move on to the next slide and get to our agreements. And several people are agreeing. We have yet to add the Guy Shingothi as the coolest agreement yet, but we will. But speaking from our own experience, that's our number one agreement, using I statements and bringing our own perspectives, not the perspective of this person down the street or this person we know. As usual, the golden rule is in effect, treating other people the way you'd want to be treated, respectfully. Every voice, every comment is valid and welcome. We want to hear it. We want everyone to contribute to the level that they're comfortable. So please treat everyone with respect. And the third one is just bring your full presence. You've decided to give us this hour today. We're grateful for that. And so we want to spread that love by saying, hey, time to put the other tasks aside and give your full presence to our webinar and our topic today. So I see folks are popping in agreements into the chat. Thank you, thank you. Agree, agree, agree. Green Bay, Wisconsin, they're here. Cleveland, Texas is here. Thank you for all the agreements. And I am happy to pass the baton over to our presenters today so we can jump into this topic. And so we'll do a little screen sharing and then go ahead and introduce yourself.
All right. Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. And definitely thank you to Be Strong Families and Guy and Paul for supporting us and inviting us to be a part of this. My name is Jodh, and I'll let you introduce yourself, Savitree, but we are co-founders of Healed, Loved, Fed and Urban Yoga Chicago. We're both located in Evanston, Illinois, and we founded this yoga, meditation, and wellness community, which really is why we're here today, because the topic that we'll be sharing with you. These are the foundations. This is really the foundation of all that we do and share and practice within our community. Do you want to say hello, Savitree?
Oh, okay, now, okay, sure. Yeah, hi, I'm Savitree. I think Jodh introduced both of us. I'm the other co-founder, and the Urban Yoga is where we started in Evanston, and Healed Love Fed is our online since 2020. And it's an online program that we have. It's a wellness program designed to help clients find their authentic expression and sense of ease in their own bodies through the use of Kundalini yoga, meditation, Ayurveda, and key wellness tools as the entry point to help get you through there and live the life that you want.
Yes.
Yeah. So we want to start off with some questions. Yeah.
I'm actually going to share my screen here. So let me start. All right. And you can see that, yes? Okay, great, yes. Thank you. All right. Okay, so we are going to start off with just a few questions. So have your fingers ready in the chat to respond. And this is our topic today, how to find calm during the shirt storm. And I say shirt storm, this leads to question number one. How many of you are familiar with the show, The Good Place? Savitree, just so you know, I do not have, okay, there we go. Now I have the chat. Okay, I'm seeing a little bit, I've heard of it, okay. So in The Good Place, they do not use the actual curse words.
They can't, right?
They cannot, right, they cannot. So we borrowed shirt storm because shirt is their word for the other S word. So shirt storm, because we didn't want to hurt your ears today. So how many of you right now are living inside a shirt storm? You can just say yes, no. I am. Yep, maybe. Okay, it looks like we have a number of people, yes or maybe. Okay. Now, and so you can see through that you are not alone. You're not alone. So what percentage of your day do you have calm in your life? What percentage of your day do you have calm in your life? 30%, 50, okay, I'm seeing 20, 40, 50, 30, 5%, 15, 25, varies. We have some ranges. All right, so looks like most of you experience at least some calm, but maybe a lot more that's not calm. Okay, good. Thank you for participating. This is so helpful. Now, on a scale from 1 to 5, how would you rate your stress level? From 1 being the lowest, 5 being the highest. 4, I'm seeing 4s and 5s, 2. More 4s and 5s. Today I'm a 2.
Nice.
Lots of 4s and 5s. Okay. All right. So we have some stress happening. We're hoping to give you some tools to help work with that today.
Today a 1. Congratulations, Jessica. That's
wow,
awesome.
That's great.
Yes, we got some 2s. Those are great.
Mm-hmm. Excellent. Okay. Has your stress level changed over the last year? So tell us, is it better now? Is it worse, or is it the same? Is your stress level better than a year ago, worse, or the same? Worse, better, same, worse, higher, better. In grad school full-time, yes, that's stressful. Worse, same, better, worse, usually worse, higher. Okay, all right. It's been quite a year. We've had to really navigate some major challenges this year, definitely. Okay, next, what is your biggest source of stress? And if it's your work, what part of your work is stressful? Your biggest source of stress. Work, coworkers, co-parenting, working from home. Work in the unknown, sure. Virtual learning, family mental health, doing it all virtually, absolutely. Kids, working in isolation, co-parenting or not, balancing time, coworkers. Yeah, we have such a range of stressors, relationship issues, mental health, along with that and the fact that my kids are home, finances, feeling helpless as I can't assist every family in need. Definitely. Yeah, I can relate to that. Final question for now, health issues. Do you have a current self-care routine? So yes or no, current self-care routine of any sort? Yes? Prayer, no, yes, yes. Oh, good, good, good. Yes, no. Meditation, exercise, somewhat but not always consistent. Kind of, no. Not so much, especially this week. All right. Trying, somewhat but not consistent. Okay. Well, our goal here today is to give you some takeaways that can help you really to first off understand the importance of some of the tools that we'll be sharing, but then to also give you some tools as well. And I am going to hand this over to Savitree, and I'll just mention as well, our goal is to leave some time at the end for questions. So if you do have questions throughout, if you don't mind just making a note of them, and then we'll leave time at the end so that we can answer those for you. All right, Savitree.
Okay. Thank you. We're going to start with a saying that you may have heard some version of this, and it's what goes on outside is a reflection of what goes on inside. And it comes down to what you see. And let's start with how your mind creates your life. Okay, so this is brain science. And your focus determines your reality. What that means is what you pay attention to grows. Okay, this is why we're always right, and we'll find sufficient evidence for it. Okay, we know the algorithms help us with that, on social media for sure. What you see is what you get. Your subconscious mind thinks in pictures, but only to the degree in which you're clear. So we'll work on that in a little bit. And what you see is what you look for. We all have experienced this. If you're pregnant, if you're expecting a child, you see pregnancy everywhere. You just bought a Prius, Prii everywhere. We all know how that works. So the mind does work in this way. They've shown this in brain science. Rob Zabierski is a speaker and coach for a company called Freedom Personal Development, and he helps clients develop professional skills and positive mindsets to discover their potential and maximize the results. And he also authored a book called Master Your Mind. And he says that our brains got some unhelpful default settings, okay? Default setting number one, it tends to emphasize negativity and underemphasize positivity. Okay, yesterday it was the fear of bears. Today it's, if you have children, you may know what I'm talking about because I've got 2 grown kids. When your child doesn't respond to your text, they're dead. Okay, that's like the first thing that goes in my head, right? Number 2 default setting. It's consumed with what's urgent at the expense of what's important. Okay, this means that you spend all your energy towards what matters the least. Okay, it's exhausting. And finally, it also creates safety over progress. Your brain wants to sit on the couch, eat Ben and Jerry's, and watch Stranger Things and Schitt's Creek. All right. And we're all victims, if you want to call them victimhood, to these because we are functional human beings. This is a normal thing. It doesn't mean you're weak. It just means you're a functional human being. That's just how our default settings work. Okay. But knowing that is very helpful. Unfortunately, just knowing it doesn't help us with our stress levels, and it feels nearly impossible to do the things to help us find calm. To have those as default setting, but to know that and then to work with it can, okay? So then how can we create peace or calm when the struggle is real? The answer is in tapping into this present moment, and then the next, and the next.
And why is that so important? So when we're thinking about the past, in the past, history is what's important. It serves to teach us lessons that we want to avoid. And it teaches us to avoid what we call the second arrow. And what I mean by that is this is a Buddhist teaching about the two arrows. The first arrow is the suffering we experience as a direct result of what is actually happening. So it may be that we lose a loved one, we took a risk and got rejected, we made a mistake. The second arrow is what we do with it, all right? So this is an imagined event where we shame, blame, and justify. We may say things like, I should have known better. God, I'm so stupid. What's wrong with me? Why did he do that? He's such an asshole. I can't believe he did that. And on and on. We just keep going until everyone around us knows that there's a problem, right? In the future is a terrible use of our imagination. We get worried and anxious about what we imagine is going to happen. I used to ask my doctor if I should get a particular procedure or test done. And he said to me, are you going to worry about it? Because if you're going to worry about it, do the test so that it's not a worry anymore. In the present, this is the only moment that we have. This is why dogs are so happy. This is why children are so happy. And when they're not, they have their tantrum. They cry, they scream, they tell you they hate you, and then it's over. They get it out. They are so present, they can win arguments and leave parents with one thing left to say, because I said so. We, on the other hand, we stew, we suppress, and this is where exercises like breathing and having self-awareness and self-expression, these now become our friend. So identify what is most stressful for you. And some of you already identified some stressors in the chat. Those triggers can be managed by managing them when you're not triggered. Really hard to do it in the moment, but when you're not triggered is when you can spend the time with them. And how do you do that? Well, it's through practice. Practice is how we get better at everything that we do. It's a lot easier to do, and I'm talking about managing stress, finding calm, when you're feeling nourished and anchored in the present moment. Trying to muster up your willpower, especially under pressure continuously, it just wreaks havoc on your nervous system. So muster it up for yourself when the pressure is lower.
So we're going to go into the 5 daily practices that you can do to shift your internal ecosystem, okay? To find the calm during the shirt storm, okay? And the first one is to build your life force. And we all know that oxygen is good for us, but I don't think that many of us might know about carbon dioxide being important too. You want to maintain a healthy, the right amount of oxygen, carbon dioxide balance. And, most of us don't have that. You want that to feel good in your body and in your mind, okay? So what most of us do, with all the people that we've had come in through our doors, okay, that we've worked with over the last 15, 20 years, 9 out of 10 people we have found shallow breathe. Okay, that means that breath doesn't go past the diaphragm; it stays right here, and the breath doesn't go past the upper part of the lungs. Okay, and then we also reverse breathe, where our body kind of comes in on the inhale and out on the exhale. And I think that's part of when we were growing up, we would suck in our stomach so that we look like our stomachs are flat. Okay, and so what that does is that shallow breathing creates over breathing, where we have where we have a lot of oxygen. Okay, and that's usually not the problem, that we don't have enough oxygen, and we have too little amount of carbon dioxide. Okay, and that creates age-related illnesses, and even in some cases death. Okay, and in its extreme form of breathing in that way, it's called hyperventilation. You've seen it in movies, you might have experienced it, and that doesn't feel good. And when this happens, you don't even have to be hyperventilating. When you're shallow breathing, okay, that you turn on the sympathetic nervous system, which, in case you don't know, that is your fight or flight response. And that is what we feel all the time when we're feeling stress and anxiety. And if 9 out of 10 people are shallow breathing, 9 out of 10 people are experiencing chronic anxiety and stress, okay, because they go hand in hand. So the first thing we want to do is show you this one simple breath, okay? And for those that have taken yoga or breathing classes or meditations and you've learned to breathe, no matter what kind of breath you're doing, I'm going to tell you the 2 rules that should be in place no matter what kind of breath you're doing, whether you're doing a fast type of breath, whether you're breathing through the nostrils, or whether you're doing a breath exercise through the mouth. There are 2 things that never change, okay, so that we can keep that proper balance. Okay, one is you're going to breathe. When you breathe in, you're going to breathe in and take that breath down past the diaphragm, right into your solar plexus, which is just below the diaphragm. Okay, and that's the rule number 1. And rule number 2 is that your body should expand like a balloon. When you put air in a balloon, it expands. And that's how you remember. If you can imagine, you remember that your body is like a balloon. Air goes in, the body should expand. The other way, that's called reverse breathing. So those are the 2 rules that are there no matter what kind of breath you're doing, whether you're just sitting at your desk working all day, or whether you're in a yoga studio doing a pranayama, a breath, which is a breath exercise. You got to do those 2 things. So in the one simple breath, when you're breathing long and deep, you're going to breathe through the nostrils, because that's another thing that we want to learn how to do just on a regular day. And even when you're working out, that's not as popular. You see a lot of runners like breathing through the mouth, or people doing exercise and they're like inhaling through the nostrils and exhaling through the mouth. You're going to gain a lot more and expand your lung capacity and have more control over the oxygen carbon dioxide balance if you're breathing both the inhale and the exhale through the nostril. Okay, so with this one simple breath, you're going to do that. Okay, so if you sit tall, first of all, you need to sit tall to do this. Okay, and breathe through the nostrils really slowly, and breathe all the way to the top, and inhale that breath past your diaphragm, like bring it down. And you want to feel the body expanding. And then you're going to do a slight pause at the top before you exhale again through the nostrils. And the body should come in, but while your body comes in, keep the spine tall. In fact, imagine the spine lengthening, because sometimes what happens is people just kind of inhale and then exhale, and they have their body collapse. This is a collapse. But instead, inhale and expand, and exhale and lengthen the spine, all through the nostrils. And just keep doing it as I talk. Close your eyes, and we'll just do this for about a minute, and I'll just talk you through and just give you some reminders. Remembering to take that breath down past the diaphragm. On that inhale, remembering to expand the body like a balloon. On the exhale, the body goes in towards your spine and the spine expands, it lengthens. And with each inhale and with each exhale, you're going to lengthen and deepen it even more. Notice if your shoulders go up or get tense, and just allow them to just melt down. Relax them. The chest can raise a little bit, but it's not because your breath is going only in your chest. It's because you're doing a full breath. And then inhale deeply. Hold the breath at the top without clenching your throat. Just keep it open and hold at the top. And then exhale all the way up. And when you think you're done exhaling, exhale a little bit more. Exhale a little bit more. A little bit more, and a little bit more. A little bit more. And when you have nothing left, then inhale. Notice how effortless that inhale becomes. Okay, so that's the one simple breath. And if you practice this first thing in the morning when you wake up, before you even get out of bed for 5 minutes, while you're lying on your back, just lie on your back. Turn off your alarm, lie on the back, put your hands right below the diaphragm, and just feel the hands go up and down, move up and down with the breath. And just do it for 5 minutes in the morning, and then 5 minutes at night before you go to bed, when you lie down, and let the breath put you to sleep as you do this. That's a really great start for a practice in conditioning your body to breathe properly. And then if you want to add more to that, you can add anytime during the day while you're cooking, folding laundry, driving to the grocery store, listening to someone speak, anything. You can keep practicing this. One more thing that I want to say about the breath is that there's a 2017 research that showed that longevity is surged when the study participants could increase their ability to hold their breath at the bottom of the exhale. Okay, so when I say suspending the breath, holding the breath at the top bottom, it doesn't mean you exhale and then you clench your throat and you're like this. Again, keep it relaxed and exhale and see if you can just suspend that breath at the bottom. Okay, and so a great way to do this, to practice this, if you don't want to just be sitting there, is you can stand up at one end of the room, inhale deeply. And remember that rule of taking that inhale down past your diaphragm, and then exhale all the way out, suspend the breath, and then start walking across the room and count how many steps you can walk while you keep the breath held at the bottom of the exhale. When you're done, stop walking, inhale, exhale all the way down, and then try it again. And see if you can, as you practice this daily, see if you can increase the amount of steps that you can take. And you're gonna feel, when you do this kind of breath exercise, you're gonna feel slightly panicky towards the end. And that's that feeling that we have when our level of carbon dioxide is increasing. And in order to get that right level, you're gonna, as you condition your body to be able to accept and to be comfortable there, it takes getting used to. It takes practice of feeling that slightly panicky feeling, but not so much that you become completely overwhelmed. Okay, so you want to get comfortable feeling slightly uncomfortable at the bottom of the exhale. Just to take a few steps longer and then try it again. Okay, and just write it down. Like if you're doing this daily, write down how many steps you took, and then notice how you can increase the amount of steps over time. Okay, and then the second practice is drink the elixir of life, water. And people have asked us, does tea count? The answer is no, it does not count. Okay, especially if it has caffeine, because there's a dehydration factor in that. And I just want you to know that by the time you're thirsty, so just a difference between thirst and hydration and dehydration. Thirsty, you get thirsty. By the time you're thirsty, you're slightly dehydrated already. Okay. And then we want a tall glass of ice water. And then we chug it. Chugging the water down causes overhydration. Okay. It dilutes the sodium and electrolyte levels in our body. We don't want that. It's not a really good thing to chug. Okay. The most effective hydration method is the hot water sip. I always have a thermos with me. And a lot of our clients do. If you came into our yoga studio and we were having a yoga class, literally, I would say 80% of our students have something like this with them to class, okay? And the hot water sip is this. You fill your water with, you fill your thermos with as hot a water as your mouth can take without burning the mouth, okay? And that's what you want. And you take 2 to 3 sips of hot water every half hour. And what that will do is it will keep your digestive system clean, like drains, okay? And it just keep the pipes clean. It will strengthen your digestive system. It will, it's like an internal hug, okay? And it does a really great job at hydrating every cell, just every part of your body. And it's an incredible anti-inflammatory. People that have complained that forever they don't remember when their ankles were not swollen, okay? They literally just a week later will come to us showing off their ankles like, oh my God, I can't believe how well this works. So the hot water sip is very, very effective. It's not gonna give you enough water throughout the day to get the amount of fluids that you need. So you're going to need another glass of water, and ideally you want it to be room temperature as opposed to ice, because ice water will mess up your digestion, and then it will mess up your energy levels when you need to go back to work after lunch. Another good time not to drink any water is during lunchtime. Okay, chew your food instead, you'll be less thirsty. 2 sips of hot water every half hour. Mm-hmm. You're going to notice how good you feel over time too.
And did you see the comment about sparkling water? Someone's wondering if that counts like tea. Does sparkling water count?
It does not count. I'm sorry. And I know Jodh is a big fan of sparkling water, so.
I love it, but I sip my hot water and then I have my sparkling water as a treat, and I enjoy it. I don't just, slam it back, but yeah, I do love my sparkling water.
Okay, so Jodh is going to take over from here with the next.
The nervous system. So it's really important that we keep the nervous system strong. I mean, just like with the other two, this is how we handle all the shit going on in our lives. And 2 simple ways to keep the nervous system strong: rest and exercise. Now, I said simple, I didn't say easy, because I know that these are not necessarily easy to incorporate into your day. In fact, you may have even rolled your eyes when I said rest, because who's got time for it? Like going to bed at 8 p.m. every night or taking a 30-minute nap after lunch sound awesome, but who's got time, right? So think of rest in a different way. When do you have a moment? Maybe it's after you finish seeing a client or your kids go off to school and you have a moment. It may be those moments when you want to grab your phone and do a quick scroll, Instead of doing that, close your eyes for a moment. Take a few breaths like we just practiced. Just allow yourself to be quiet for a minute. These mini rest periods throughout the day can make really such a big difference in giving our nervous system a little bit of a reset. And then we have exercise. And, again, regular daily exercise, of course, it's important. We know that. But sometimes it's just getting up and moving your body. Personally, I have a standing desk, so I like to stand up, and I will often just kind of be moving around a little bit. It's really hard for me to stand still sometimes, but thinking of things like leg exercises, these are really critical to brain function and cognitive health. So walking, running, jumping rope, jumping on a trampoline, doing this wonderful exercise we have in our yoga practice called frogs. These are ways that you can just kind of, get your body moving, get some, even stimulating your brain, gets the spinal fluid moving up and down your spine. And it doesn't necessarily have to mean that you're carving time out, but maybe it's that you have a moment to just walk around your room or go outside and walk around the block. Movement and exercise, really important for strengthening the nervous system. And next we have mantra. Now, many of us chant or recite mantras to ourselves all throughout the day. Mantras come in all different forms. A mantra could be, oh, I look fabulous today, or it can be like, I'm having the worst hair day. These are just simple mantras, things that we recite over and over. Negative self-talk, it could be positive self-talk. And a mantra practice helps to recode over the negative self-talk. And we have this really wonderful mantra that we're going to share with you today. It's very simple. It means truth, connecting into your own truth, the essence of who you are. And the sounds are Sat, S-A-T, Sat, Nam, N-A-M, Sat Nam. This is a mantra that we use a lot in our practice to connect in with the breath to help give our mind a focus point. And I'm going to walk you through just a short little meditation right now. So again, just adjust yourself in your chair, sitting with your feet on the floor, and rest your left arm in your lap with your palm up. Let me adjust. So your palm is up like this, just resting in your lap. And take your right hand and using your first 2 or 3 fingers, find your pulse on your left wrist. You may have to take your watch off if you're wearing one. And sometimes I know it's challenging finding the pulse, but trust me, I know it's there. If you're not finding it, then you can also use a couple fingers and finding it in your throat area here. That one I can always find really easily. All right. Now feeling those little taps of your pulse, close your eyes and just feel what they feel like. Breathing through your nose. With each tap, mentally hear the sound Sat Nam. Sat Nam. And you may find that that heart is beating a little faster than you thought it would be. And so it may be more like Sat Nam, Sat Nam, Sat Nam, Sat Nam. But just take this time, feel the pulse, connect in with yourself, your truth. Good, and breathe in deeply through your nose. Exhale and relax your hands, open your eyes again. Beautiful.
Okay, so the final one is know your nose. And know is, surprisingly, when you really think about it, it's such an easy, like as children, we knew how to say this so well. That starts with the terrible twos, and now we don't even know how to say it at all, most adults. So this is kind of more of an internal practice first before it becomes an external practice, okay? So those moments when you're thinking internally, heck no. You may not use the word heck, but we're using it here, right? Heck no. While you're nodding, at someone and just negotiate how you're going to make it all work in your life, you know? And internally you're like this, but externally you're like this, right? Something's happening, but there is this kind of stress and panic that happens. And it's the heck no moment. You can feel it internally. And with a smile on your face, right? Well, this moment is an opportunity for you. It's an opportunity in self-awareness, in checking in. It's a prompt. It's a very important prompt because it gives you a chance right now. Because right now I'm not saying, well, say no, you know. I'm right now just saying, okay, when you have this moment, ask yourself, then what is your yes? And what I mean by that is, um, you know, if that's a no, what would your yes look like? And it could be something more general. Like I remember thinking, you know, I have two grown children now, and before I had kids, I didn't think I wanted them because I do not want to. Because my mantra was, I don't want to be like my mom. Okay, that was just something that was going on for me at that time, and you know, so it's not enough to say that. I don't want to be like my mom. I don't want to be like that boss. I don't want to be that terrible person, you know, like that. I don't want to be that kind of a significant other. Whatever it is, you have to know then you have to turn that around. It's an opportunity to say then what kind of mother do I want to be? What kind of boss or manager do I want to be? What kind of coworker do I want to be? What kind of communicator do I want to be? What kind of ally do I want to be? And to be able to then, and it helps to go back to that visualization. Your subconscious can only see only to the extent that you can actually, you know, have clarity around. And this gives you an opportunity to say, oh, okay, well, that was a visceral no inside, even though I said yes. So then what is my yes? Okay, it's a really nice prompter to go back, journal about it, just think about it. And sometimes the answer doesn't come for months. Sometimes it's almost instant and you just needed to use that as a prompt and to know to do that. It also points to your values. So when something is a no and it like almost feels threatening or like or it feels it maybe because it's not aligned, like no, like absolutely not. That's just out of integrity for me. It points to that it's not aligned with a value you have. And we're not talking about a moral value necessarily. It's just your own value of what's right for you. So writing those things down and really using that no as a prompter. And right now it's just external work, okay? But the more clear you get on then saying, okay, what is my yes? What is my value? And what it does is it really turns that no into, my God, I cannot believe another like thing that's come up. Like, why do these things keep coming up? And like, no, it's oh, here's a value, another value that came up for me, you know, and you can congratulate yourself for that. And it's like, that's why I had that visceral no, even though I'm not strong enough to say no right now. It spoke to a value. And the more you're able to use those prompts to harness that internally, the more energy, the more strength and courage you'll have later. And maybe even right then and there to say no to someone. Okay. And when you do start to say no, you can start to say no before you have your yes, before you even identify what value it is. Because what it does is it gives you, what it does is it creates space. It becomes a space holder. That no becomes a space holder so that the yes can come. I said point to your values again on that thing. We already said that earlier. And, you know, powerful exercise if you want to do this. I was given many years ago by one of my teachers. This week, this is what he said. This week, you say no to everything. Okay? Does someone want to have tea with me? I have to say no. And I can't go, I can't say, oh, because I've got all these things on my plate and I just don't have time, I'd love to. No, the answer would be just no with no explanation. And that is kind of the scariest thing to do. What happened though that week is that there was a real yes that came up. And I said yes. And so the idea isn't to say no at all costs, but when you do practice saying no, when that real yes comes, it actually, you'll recognize it and you'll be able to say it and mean it inside and out. Okay? When you say yes to everything, that same yes to the real thing, you won't be able to recognize it as different from anything else. And that's a very powerful thing. So first, the first practice can be the internalization of celebrating your no's, just looking at it to see what the prompts are and to see where the values are. And that's causing your inside to say no. And then that should give you the strength and clarity to say no on the outside. So those are the 5 practices. We do have a bonus one, okay, that came up for us. And it really goes back to what we said earlier, the brain science of seeing, what do we say? Seeing, what was the exact sentence there? Do you see it?
Seeing, are you saying
to see what you look for?
Yeah, what you look for.
What you see is what you look for. The Prius, right? So when you buy a Prius, you see Prii everywhere. Okay. Commit to looking for all the good that's happening, because I can assure you that there are lots of good things that are happening. And when you commit to that, when you buy that Prius, right? When you buy looking for all the good, you'll see it driving around everywhere. Okay, and when you see that, and when you continue to see that, because there is a lot of it, okay? In the beginning, especially if you're feeling your mood's not there, it's gonna feel like quite the scavenger hunt, okay? But when you do start to commit and you find them, you're gonna see that it will change you from the inside out. Which takes us to surrounding ourselves with the right mantra, okay? With the right thing. And the importance of community, we can't emphasize this enough, because community, there is a saying that we become the average of the 5 people that we spend the most time with. When I say this, people start thinking, okay, who are the 5 people I spend the most time with? Why that is real is because, you know, when you're surrounded by that language, that mantra, okay, those perceptions, it affects your sense of reality and what's possible. So then you try to do this thing. That's why, you know, when you're an addict, you have to pull yourself out of those friends, right, and go into a different community of people who are not, because it's a different conversation, a different reality that's happening. So, so you know, it does affect that. And I just got the time thing. So
We're doing great.
We're doing great. Okay.
Yes.
All right. Yeah. So those 5. So easy. So what Jodh, you said, simple but not easy.
Right.
It's true. And so we want to take a moment anyway to introduce you to what our community looks like, just so you know. And Jodh is going to walk you through our tour of Healed, Love, Fed, which is a community that we've co-founded, and we work all the stuff, we focus on all the stuff that we talked about.
Yeah, I mean, these really are, this is the foundation for everything that we do, what we shared here with you today. And, you know, like with many businesses, about a year ago, we had to make a pretty big shift in the way that we do business, from being in person to being online. And so we've really been committed to creating this community, this Healed, Loved, Fed community, and our Love Your Life program, which is a year-long program where we use the tools that we shared with you, Kundalini Yoga and meditation, practical Ayurveda, and key self-awareness tools so that you can cultivate the energy and courage to do what matters to you most. Things like, you know, being able to say no, living in alignment with your values. These things take strength and energy, and it's difficult to like will that into yourself after a long, hard day. So we offer structure that includes regular support by email and live stream to help keep you connected and help you elevate yourself of what's possible for you in your life. This is what our homepage looks like. And from here, our members log in with your email and password, and then you'll see your library here. And we just took a few screenshots here just to give you a sense of what we have available in terms of our community and our different portals and our mini courses as well. And when you get started, we start you off with this portal called Check Your Progress. And we love this. We have a little welcome video here. But what's great about this is we really want to help everyone get started right. And that starts with a little tour, a video tour through the site so you know where to go and where to find things. And then getting in touch with yourself, right? Down here, you'll see we have a two-part wellness assessment. And what this is you sitting down with yourself and reflecting on yourself, your goals, your values, and your support system. We have a wonderful exercise called A Day in the Life of You. And this is where you just go through a typical day in your life and share, map things out. What do you eat? What do you do? How do you spend your time? How's your body feeling? And from there, you create some goals for yourself and then share them with us. So we get responses. We get all of these in our email, and we reach out to you and talk with you more, ask questions so that we can help you refine your goals, and then ultimately so that you can develop a practice to help you meet those goals, and of course plug them into your calendar, because I think we all know, if a goal is really important to us, we write it down and we schedule how we're going to take regular steps to work toward that goal. So we want to partner with everyone who's in our Healed, Loved, Fed community so that everyone can have success in working on these goals, because we know how important it is for you. And we have a community because this community forum came out of this desire and need to be together and to be able to share, to ask questions, to be able to engage in a variety of different ways. And that's come out in both live Zoom kind of discussions and then also online discussions as well. So every Friday in the month, we have a different discussion taking place. We have book clubs, we have discussions on emotional intelligence, we have opportunities to gather to share experiences and ask questions. And they're really dynamic hour-long conversations. And then we have online discussions happening as well. A teacher or a community member will post a question or a topic, and then folks just join in and share their experiences in the comments there. Of course, we have the yoga and meditation classes, and what we offer comes in a variety of forms. So you're able to access all of our live stream classes here, but then we also have videos. So we have basics, we have recorded live stream classes, we have meditations, and then we have the yoga practices as well. And we also have these amazing sound healing meditations that are both 11 minutes and 45 minutes long that include things like the gong and crystal singing bowls and other kind of exotic instruments that are really fantastic and helpful for soothing and healing your nervous system and giving you an opportunity to rest and relax too. Our mini courses are kind of like self-paced workshops. So this is an example of one, managing stress and anxiety during unpredictable times. And in this mini course, you go through and identify where you're experiencing stress and anxiety in your body, how that's feeling, how that's impacting your life. And then we talk about something called the stress response cycle and offer you a number of practical ways that you can close out that stress response cycle so your body knows it's time to rest when the day is done. And then, of course, because we think this part is so important, we have action steps. So what do you do next? How are you going to incorporate this into your life? Finally, we have our Transform Your Life portal. And this is a gift that we have for you all today. In a moment, I'm going to share a link in the chat. And if you click that link and share your email address with us, that allows us to send you the One Simple Breath video. So that video, it's totally free. You can play it every day, practice along with it, and also have some suggestions on how you can use that and incorporate it in your life. And then after you've practiced that video, or after you have that video, we'll send you another follow-up email to register for your Transform Your Life portal. And in here, this is everything that you'll get with that: the 5 ways to take back your life, the 4 pillars to good health PDF, and then we have some videos here for you to practice along with as well. And what's great about this is you can come into this as often as you like and practice along with these videos every single day.
So Jodh, if you want to just put that into the link where they can put the email address. Oh, that's fantastic. Yeah, that's good. So yeah, here's what we know. We want to all be well. We want more energy, we want more clarity, less stress, more strength and courage to make some changes in our lives, and at the very least to find calm in the shirt storm. No matter how much we want it, our lives get in the way, and our best laid plans either fall off or never get started. And so you can start with these 5 that we just talked about today, plus that bonus. And commit to making yourself important enough. If that's hard, then commit to making other people important enough, because when you're on fumes, all you have to give are fumes, right? And so we know it's easy and it's also hard at the same time. We want you to know that if you do need the support in the process, we've broken it down to you at Healed, Love, Fed, and so that you're so you can follow the plan and get the support and community that you need to stay on track. There's always ways to not show up. We call that in our community turtling. And when you are there and you know that people are asking about you and that there's a process to hop right back onto, it makes it so much easier, much more nourishing, much more fun, and easier to stay on course and make the shifts.
Definitely. So we just invite you all to start with this today. We gave you 5 ways plus a bonus to manage the shirt storm, but that may feel overwhelming. So just start with 1. You can always add from there. We promised we would give space for questions, so we will do that, but take a moment to write down the 1 takeaway from today that you're going to get started with today, so that you can manage the shirt storm in your life. And hopefully, if we see you again, a year from now, your stress level is reduced because of the things that you've been practicing. And we'd love for you to share it in the chat as well and let us know what you're going to take away. We are going to be back here in 2 weeks to share how to shift the shirt. How to shift the shirt. That is so hard to say, but we appreciate all of your time here today, and thank you to Be Strong Families for inviting us to share this with you. And we have time for questions, so let us know what questions you have. And this is great. I see sipping hot water and meditation, knowing my nose. Yes.
I saw a couple people put their email addresses in the chat. So I just want to make sure those folks are clicking on the link so they can sign up with their email through the link, correct?
Yes, and I just put that link back in again.
Okay. Good.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, so Bree and I can't read the entire name because it's cut off, Panhiav at Lakeshore Cap. You want to click on that link to sign up. And Lawan Massey, I see you put your email in too. So you want to follow that link so you can sign up there. I'm just perusing for questions. I don't see anything yet.
Well, I love seeing the takeaways. Very exciting. And thank you all.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I found it interesting because I've done a lot of, I probably just wasn't paying attention in previous forms, but like with the breathing, I always thought there was like more of a combination of nose and mouth. And so when I was doing the exercises today, all nose, that was just and the walking around, which I did. It was just really interesting, and it was noticeable after I'd done in the chair, because you kept saying, extend your spine as you're exhaling, right? And I didn't notice anything while I was breathing, but then when I stopped breathing, I sat up and I felt taller, which was strange, strange phenomenon, but a really fun topic today. I really appreciate all the stuff I saw. And a lot of people liking hot water. I had no clue either.
Yeah.
How hot should it be? Like if I'm going to have a cup that keeps it hot for a while, right?
As hot as your mouth can take it without burning your mouth. So I have a thermos that you just turn on with hot water, and it's got like 2, 4. I think it's got 6 different temperature settings, and I can only do the first temperature setting. And it's hot enough, but you can't chug it, right? So literally, when you have one of those, it's easy. When you just have to boil the water, then you just have to figure out how long to let it cool before you can actually start drinking it. But as hot as your mouth can take it without burning it is the
very
answer.
cool.
Yes.
Thank you. Oh, someone's raised their hand. I know we're cutting close on time. I want to mention that there's also the ending poll on, so those on can check off on the poll. And then maybe you want to switch back to our slides. And then if there's other questions, people can jump in while I'm reading. Are there questions? No.
I do see a question that says, why is the hot water the best? Hot water, and can I replace the hot water with room temperature water? You can do room temperature water for sure. It's a lot better than ice water. Ice water is not great for your digestion, okay, and just your ability metabolism. So room temperature is wonderful. You're going to want to drink that anyway next to the hot water. Hot water is a wonderful. It strengthens your digestion, your digestive process. It's an incredible anti-inflammatory. My doctor, who is a Western doctor and also is very well, like he studied with Maharishi with the Ayurveda Institute, he talks about how detoxifying, like there's this Ayurvedic process called Panchakarma. I don't know if anyone's heard of that, but you go to India or you spend a lot of money here in the States and they just detox you from every orifice of your body. And it's quite a process. And the people that have done it talk about how they have never felt so good before, probably not since they were a baby. And Panchakarma is, he talks a lot about how good that is for your body, how detoxifying that is. And it really just takes everything out. He said the next best thing is a hot water sip.
Cool.
Okay, so really good for you.
Thank you.
Cannot do.
And yes, in 2 weeks from today, come back for more. This is what's on the screen now is a list of our webinars for tomorrow and through next Thursday. So I hope you'll join us for one of those. Don't forget to #amplify this week, and you can also email us at covid-19@bestrongfamilies.net. #amplify shirt storm. Figure out a way to type it out without getting in trouble. Also, if you want to support us, you can purchase masks. There's an example of masks that are available on our website. Just go to that site. We have 2, and they're very comfortable, I must say. I always say that. You can move on, Paul. And if you have a topic that you'd like to share, if you have something that you think needs to be on this series, contact us. We are continuing these daily. We are looking for presentations consistently, and we'd love to hear from you and grow our community further. You can email Kathy at kathe@bestrongfamilies.net. I see YouTube is giving us trouble, so I'm going to sign off. I'm going to thank Jodh and Savitree for the wonderful presentation today. And anything you want to sign off with, 2 of you? Otherwise, I'll say adieu.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Take care, everyone. Stay strong.
All right, everybody. Thanks a lot. We're going to be closing it out for the next session. Thank you so much for tuning in, and Be Strong Families.